We are getting a little bit unsexy about wellness today on the Wellness Big Sis podcast. There's a trend going around about unsexy products that we can't live without. So I've seen it all across TikTok, just different people posting, like not necessarily the trendy sort of Tarte, Sephora, like skincare. I've seen it a lot with skincare, but skincare pics, but talking about the unsexy products that people just can't stop buying because they might not be the trendiest item, but they really enhance their skincare, their makeup routine, their wellness routine, whatever it is. So, welcome back to the Wellness Big Sister podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kelsey Vick, and we are going to get, again, a little unsexy about wellness. So, I tried to come up with different sort of topics that I hadn't seen before or I hadn't heard about that have absolutely sort of changed my wellness game. And that can be anything from like sleep to keeping the largest organ in our body, our skin, super healthy, to our dental hygiene. We really bounce all over the map, but I tried to keep my recommendations different from all of the other sort of like hot recommendations that I've seen out there as far as the unsexy wellness trend goes. So we'll cover everything. I'll talk too about two of my favorite sort of unsexy wellness activities that have also helped as far as incorporating more movement into my routine and then also helping to rejuvenate my sleep. So we really cover a lot of different things today, a lot of them unsexy, but some of my tried and true. And then I also asked the Ella Wellness Sisterhood about some of their unsexy wellness products, wellness habits that they incorporate into their routines, daily, weekly, whatever it might be. So at the end, I'll go over some of the other sisterhood recommendations. And some of them are some of mine too. So I was happy to see that a lot of the people that are part of the sisterhood are also agreeing with me that yes, it might be unsexy, but it is really game changing. So we'll start off with the two activities. I know these aren't wellness products, but they're unsexy wellness activities that have really enhanced my routine. So the first one being what I call sort of movement snacks or daily walks, mental clarity walks, whatever you want to call them. Getting that sort of movement in, whatever that might be for you, has been super helpful for me in my day-to-day routine. So I try it's probably been about a year now where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try to do a 30-minute mental clarity walk 5 times a week. So almost every day. My goal was like during the work week, get some sunlight, get some vitamin D, like get some movement, get some quality time with my husband, walk my dog, like all of these things grouped into one activity. And it really has benefited me in so many more ways than what I actually thought, where I do get the sunlight, I do get the mental clarity. I do get to spend more time with my husband and my puppy uninterrupted, not on my phone. I do get to smile at neighbors and just see beautiful flowers and notice things that I might not have noticed had I not been more purposeful about incorporating these daily walks or movement breaks, whatever it might be. So that is number one. The second thing is in regards to sleep. And there's actually a lot on here for sleep, but sleeping with 5 to 8 hertz on like music in the background while we're sleeping, I really feel like it's totally rejuvenated my sleep and I'm able to stay asleep for longer. I'm a tosser and a turner and I get really good sleep when I give myself enough time to get sleep. So I wouldn't say I'm like sleep challenged at all, but turning on that music, I do feel like I toss and turn less and I wake up a little bit more rejuvenated. So I just do it on Spotify, 5 to 8 hertz, or whatever your music platform is. And I really do think that's helped my sleep. And again, both are totally free. There's almost like no time involved at all for just turning on the music at 5 to 8 hertz for sleep, but only a little bit of time involved for the daily walks and movement snacks. And if you missed my last podcast episode, we go over the science behind mental clarity walks, hot girl walks, whatever you want to call them. But it's a super good podcast if you haven't listened to it in order to go into the deeper why behind why they're beneficial for us in regards to not only our mental health, but also our blood glucose levels. So a little plug there, but that was a really fun podcast to record. So now we'll go into some of the products. And again, these go all over the map. I'm super excited to share them because they've really helped me and they're unsexy, but sometimes unsexy is the best, right? And that's the ones we keep going back to over and over again. So the first one makes my little physical therapist heart happy, but it is toe spreaders. So exactly what we used to get like at the nail salon that spreads the toes out. You can literally buy them on Amazon. I actually don't have formal toe spreaders. I just use a sock and I weave it sort of in between my toes, and I separate them, especially when I'm at home after a day where my feet have been in like tennis shoes or shoes of any kind. Honestly, that like toe separator, that toe separation with either the sock or a formal toe spreader has really helped my foot health. I used to get just intermittent like heel pain or ankle pain or whatever. And a lot of it is because we're not giving those muscles and those feet and those joints of the feet time to expand and really like ground out, right? So toe spreaders with a sock, with a formal toe spreader, whatever it might be, is one of the unsexy sort of products that I have used probably now for like 2 or 3 years. And it just feels so good. It's like a little self-care moment that you can do while I do it while I'm like working at the end of the day or writing a blog post, sleeping. If you can handle it for that long, it sometimes takes a little bit of time to build up depending on how sensitive your feet are. But I noticed that if I have it in for like 2, 3, 4 hours, like a long time, my feet feel amazing after. The second product that is unsexy, and if you follow me on any of my social media, you know how big of a fan I am of this, but it's mouth tape, and it has really, really helped my sleep. I feel like as soon as I started incorporating mouth tape into my sleep regimen, I noticed a huge amount of improvement in my mental clarity, my processing of words, my ability to like think on my feet, especially with patient care. But I really wish I had this as a student when I was taking tests, because I really feel like it's, again, like the 528 hertz for music. Mouth tape is one of those free ways that we can just really enhance our sleep. And so I really, really, really like the brand VIO2 mouth tape, and I believe my code DRKELSY will get you 10% off. I have not actually restocked. I am using KT tape right now, which I don't love as much, but again, it's I have like loads of it and it's free for me currently. So, but the VIO2 one is my absolute favorite if you're looking for a mouth tape. It's in the shape of an H, so you can do multiple positions, but I like to do one at the top, one at the bottom, and then the like a sideways H, I guess, if that makes sense. But it really has helped me to be more clear-headed when I wake up. I get so much better sleep. I started this probably about 10 or 11 months ago, like it's almost been a year. And I tried one night without it while I was on a trip somewhere. And I was like, you know what, like how helpful can this be? It might just be in my head. And I really tried it out. I woke up and it was foggier again, and just, again, not as sharp on my feet. And so I don't think I will ever sleep without mouth tape again. And it has been one of those unsexy products that has absolutely changed my sleep and helped me to be more clear-headed, more on top of things, and just quicker, I guess, mentally, like reactions and words and all of it. You could tell that I had poor sleep last night because of my word finding today, but I still wore my mouth tape. So one of my like non-negotiables when it comes to sleep. The next one will go more into sort of like dental hygiene, but Oral-B Super Floss specifically, because I have a permanent retainer, and if you have braces, a permanent retainer, honestly, I feel like it's just a nice brand of floss, but it has like different textures on one strand of floss. So you have a really pointy, like pliable texture on one side to kind of weave in. Like if you've ever had braces, you know they gave you like those needles. So it's basically like that needle. So that's on one end. So you can really easily get it in between tough areas. And then it'll go thin, and then it'll have a super cushiony part for those extra sensitive parts of your gums. So it's just one of those flosses. My dentist gave it to me probably like 6 or 7 years ago. And every time I went to the dentist, I would say like, hey, can I re-up my super floss? And they would they would give me some, and then I realized you could just buy it on Amazon. And so now I just stock my own because I do feel like that has really helped the comfort of my flossing, me to keep my teeth clean in between my dental visits, and also especially that permanent retainer that I have. So if you guys have a permanent retainer, again, braces, it's game changing. The next one I have on here is dry brushing. So again, this one's, I guess, kind of trendy. It's not totally unsexy, but one of my friends recently asked me if I had a recommendation for a dry brush, and I don't actually have a recommendation. I know natural fibers are better. I've heard the wood handles can get a little moldy, but that's exactly the one I have. So if anyone has a great recommendation, I'd love to hear it. But I have recently been incorporating this into my routine. I go in and out of phases because some of the time it's kind of stimulating with energy levels and lymphatic flow, and I usually shower before I sleep, and I usually dry brush before I shower. And so if I dry brush close to sleep, some of the time it sort of stimulates me more than when I want to go to sleep, I guess, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to get back into a healthy routine with it to where I'm helping my lymphatic system without sacrificing my sleep quality. So I'm working on that balance, but it is an unsexy sort of but currently trendy product that I feel like has really helped both my skin, my lymphatic system, and just the general like flow in my body. So if you're looking for sort of a routine for how to dry brush, we have one on the Ella Wellness Sisterhood. It's free. I can put a link to it in the description below, but take a look there. It'll show you exactly how to do it in order to best clear certain areas of lymph nodes in order to promote that lymphatic fluid flowing throughout your body. So dry brushing, but you have to do it in the correct way. You can't just like mindlessly dry brush. There is a pattern and there's a pressure that is ideal when it comes to dry brushing. So just another product, but if you're looking for a way to sort of incorporate that routine and need a formal sort of video on how to dry brush, where to dry brush, I'll put that in the description, but it's part of the free resources in the Ella Wellness Sisterhood. The next one I have on here, speaking of sort of lymphatics, is natural deodorant. I know people are hit or miss on this. My sister's like, nope, if deodorant's gonna be the one to kill me, let it kill me, like all the carcinogens, whatever. But there's a heavy amount of lymph nodes in your armpit area. And so I just think it's one of the simplest ways, if we can sort of get our bodies used to this natural deodorant or natural substances, natural sort of cleansing of our armpits without all of those harmful toxins. I think this is one of the easiest switches. And I have two favorites currently. Hume is my go-to, like tried and true. I love Hume. And then I'm also using the Milk and Honey. It comes in like a twist top. So you actually like use your hand to put it on your armpits rather than like a roll-on ball or something. But I have to still alternate. I know they say with like normal deodorants, your body gets used to it. For me, the same happens with non-toxic deodorants as well. So I do still have to alternate. So Hume I love, but I do have to alternate sometimes with another one or with coconut oil. So I have tried to do some of using coconut oil as some of it, but I do notice that for my own body, I just have to reapply a lot more of the coconut oil in order like throughout the day. And sometimes my day doesn't allow for like constant coconut oil reapplication. So I'm still trying to find the right alternating natural deodorant sequence for me, but I'm willing to put in that effort knowing how many lymph nodes and how congregated of a lymph area that is, and how much it's needing not to have these harmful toxins put directly in that area. So speaking of coconut oil, that is another one of my unsexy product recommendations. And many of you guys in the actual sisterhood were recommending this as well. Just a huge like Costco sized jar of coconut oil. I use it for deodorant. I use it for moisturizer, like lip moisturizer. I've used it following sunburns, just all sorts of like skincare, razor burn a lot of the time, or some of those natural deodorants that I've tried have given me sort of like dry skin. And so a lot of time I'll use it after that, or like the irritation. It's just a great thing to have on hand for so many things. After I recently got like a minor surgery in my mouth, and it has great antibiotic properties as well. So I used it as for moisturizing and sort of helping the healing process on my lip, but then also the moisturizing around it so that I'm not putting like lip gloss right near an area that has like surgery or scars or an open wound or whatever. So just a great thing to have on hand. That, yeah, so many of you guys in the sisterhood also recommend it as well. So I love it. I use it all the time. Cooking as well, like coconut oil is just one of those things. Unsexy, tried and true, and I feel like has been around for so many generations. So the next one I have is my favorite ponytail. Some of you guys in the sisterhood recommended a different one, so I'll say that one later. But I really like the Teleties ponytails. It's these little phone cord ones. I don't know. I have super duper thick hair, and I feel like the Teleties just hold it up. I like the skinny ones, I like the thick ones, I like layering them. I think they look really cool in the hair, especially for like fancying up a ponytail. So I really, really like them. Some of you guys in the sisterhood recommended the slip silk hair ties, and I haven't tried those. And knowing the people and the hair types that they say, it seems like those work for a variety of hair types as well. I just have not tried those yet, but you guys really seem to like the slip silk hair ties. The next one I have on here is some of my recent sort of skincare favorites is using Korean skincare for my basics. So vitamin C serum, moisturizer, sunscreen, and the two brands that I really like are Beauty of Joseon, and then Innisfree, Innis free, all one word. I've been loving those, and I feel like it really, really has helped my skin, and it's very reasonably priced. So I feel like, again, it's one of those unsexy. I've tried all of the, I can't say all of the, but I've tried a lot of the expensive serums from like the 80, I have not tried like $120 like vitamin C serums at all, but from $80 to like the $50 range, I've tried like $20, $30, and these, as far as vitamin C serum, skincare, moisturizer, sunscreen, they're super reasonably priced and they work really well for me. And again, unsexy because they're just my basics, but I've really enjoyed them, and I think my skin has really enjoyed them as well. The next one I have on here, and again, a lot of you guys recommended this as well, is a trusty water bottle. And I actually don't have my favorite recommendation for a water bottle, but some of you guys recommended the Brewmate, and then I really want to try the Hydro Jug, the one with the straw that sort of like flops up and flops down. So I think all of us have similar requirements in that it's spill proof. Straw is sometimes nice to have. The option for not a straw is also nice. So I know the Owala, people really like that one for both options. And then fits in a cup holder. I don't know if I said that, but I want to find a sort of go-to water bottle because I think that's one of the unsexy wellness products. Right now I'm just using different Yeti variations, and I can't recommend any one because I don't love every aspect about one of them, or about all, like each of them. There's something I don't like about each of them, but if you have a recommendation, I would love to hear it. I have 3 more, so hang with me. But the next one is period underwear, and my sisters give me absolute crap for this, but if you know, you know. Like, if you're super, and again, this is probably some girl chat, but if you're super sort of like pelvic floor tense, which like type A, just high stress, constipation, struggle with some gut health stuff, have difficulty putting a tampon in, all of that, your pelvic floor might be a little bit overactive, shortened, and just not able to relax fully. And so sometimes on your period, it just sort of is painful. Like, it's just, you don't want to have to worry about all of the maintenance for it, right? And so period underwear have been a lifesaver for me when it comes to just like relaxing at home, feeling comfortable in my like blah time of the month, and just, yeah, just like a little easier and less restrictive, and less like sticking something up there when it's not that comfortable sometimes. So maybe a little TMI, but period underwear, again, they're unsexy, but they really, and they come in like panties and thongs, whatever you prefer, or if you want both. So my favorite brand is Thinx, Thinx, and then I do also have some Nix, Knix, and I think Thinx is my favorite probably, and then the Nix, but I have both, and I use both. The next one I have on the list is, again, similar to coconut oil. It's Argentyn 23 Bioactive Silver Hydrosol. If that's not like an unsexy name, I don't know what is. But it is silver hydrosol, which is basically helps for wound healing, helps have natural immune support when you're struggling with any sort of like especially after surgery or like antibiotics. It's sort of a natural antibiotic, so it fights back against all of the things that can attack, especially I'm thinking with wound care. Again, I had that lip surgery. It was very minor, but my doctor had recommended, the surgeon had recommended like a super strong antibiotic pill, and those just affect your gut health for so long that I didn't want to put my body under that stress for something relatively minor. Like, it was totally kind of a cosmetic-y type of surgery where it wasn't this full body systemic surgery. And so I used this Argentyn 23 Bioactive Silver Hydrosol to help cleanse the wound and then keep it all healthy and to prevent bacteria forming in the wound or around the wound. I know I follow someone, I believe it's Dr. Daryl Gioffre, Gioffre. Again, I'll put all of it in the show notes, but he is the one that was saying antibiotics, like super strong, powerful antibiotics, can affect your gut for so long. And so if you have the option to have these more natural remedies, they have been used for centuries. And again, even in PT school, we learn about using silver for really intense wounds. It's a really, really good antibacterial. And so it's like, why can we not also apply that to our bodies? And so I thought about that once he said it. I was like, oh my gosh, you're so right. I really need to use that. And so after my surgery, I did the Bioactive Silver Hydrosol. I did the coconut oil, all of the good sort of like cleansing, healing things for that surgery. And I went back for my follow-up, and the surgeon was like, wow, your wound looks really good. The healing looks amazing. And so I attribute that to all of the sort of natural remedies that I used for that area. So I love it. I get it just off of Amazon, but again, super unsexy, but one of those things that I really do feel like helped after my surgery while also not harming other parts of my body, like the good bacteria in my gut. Last one I have, again, another sort of like sickness related one, but it's the Neomed Sinus Rinse. So it's like a neti pot, but my husband really got me into this one actually before we were married. He was like, you need to try this, Kelsey. And it's one of those things that anytime I've had COVID, allergies, it's where you like have salted water and then it goes up into your sinus cavity and rinses out. And it really just helps preventatively, reactively. It helps me sleep better. It's just, again, something you don't want on your counter. You want it under the counter, under the cabinet, but you do. It's so useful in those scenarios when you're just feeling extra stuffy and need a little bit of extra help and force and like cleansing to help you breathe. So that is my sort of unsexy products that I would recommend. And then I have a few from the sisterhood. So the sisterhood input, the Hatch alarm clock was mentioned. And again, I think that's like the mouth tape where it's trendy, maybe a little unsexy. You definitely want it on your counter. You definitely want it out in the open, but it is one of those, I really still want one because I do think I like the idea of it easing like the sunrise with the light, with the beautiful sounds and all of that combined. So I really feel like it'll enhance a morning routine. I do not have it, but it was recommended by one of the girls in the Yellow Wellness Sisterhood. The next one, again, Slip Silk hair ties, the Brewmate water bottle, tongue scraper, which this one's really, really good. I didn't have this on my original list, but the girl who sent this in, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is absolutely amazing. To me, it's like the dry brush where I'm trying to get into a better habit of it, but I'm not there yet. So I think it's great. Tongue scraper, again, you don't want it necessarily sitting out, but it's one of those products that can just help with your dental health, help with your immune system, help with so many different systems in your body with just a simple sort of like 2 to 3 minute process. I can't believe I didn't think of this next one, but pimple patches. And again, I ran out. That's probably why I didn't think of them, but super unsexy. They have some cute ones, but they really do work. And again, this was a simple, this is also something that we used in wound care for physical therapy as well. I'm not a wound care therapist, but we talk a lot about it. And it was talking about you have like these patches that are honey or different sort of hydration like patches basically that are like a gel substance, and it basically helps with wound healing too. And so that's the same thing with a pimple patch. It's kind of this like jelly hydration-y sort of substance, and it just helps to sort of like give more moisture to that area to help decrease some of that inflammation. So I love pimple patches. I can't believe I didn't think about it. So thank you to whoever sent that in. Another sort of dental hygiene one, mouth guard, retainers, like all of the good things. A lot of us have probably had braces. A lot of us might be doing Invisalign, whatever it might be. It's just good to keep up with those habits for helping your teeth, helping the enamel on your teeth, all of the good dental hygiene stuff. The last two, oh, I guess we have three. So whitening trays were another one. Again, unsexy, but beautiful smile. I got mine from my dentist. It was like personalized shape and form and all of it. And it's, I just love it. I use it probably before any big event. Because it can make your gums pretty tender, but whitening trays is another good one. The last two, clean Pilates socks and then vitamins. So vitamins, again, unsexy, and it's very individualized. And then clean Pilates socks. I know I've seen a lot of cute brands on TikTok, but I do feel like that's one of those unsexy ones that it's like good to have. You're always like, when you put on your favorite pair of socks, whatever it might be, that whether they like hug your foot in just the right way or whether they're super cute and have the grippies on the bottom, whatever, you just feel a little bit more put together with those items on. So thank you guys for submitting in your own sort of unsexy wellness products. I love hearing everyone's like recommendations. I've loved this trend, so I was like, you know what? Let me put my spin on it. Let me put the sisterhood spin on it. That way we can sort of share all these products. So I would love to hear more of your unsexy wellness product recommendations. I'm all about those tried and trues that might not be, honestly, they're usually better than the trendy products because the trendy products have all of the sort of hype, influencer marketing dollars put behind them. It's like, but what are the basics? What are the good ones that we just like cannot get rid of because they're so good and we keep rebuying? So I'd love to hear your sort of unsexy wellness products. If you agree with any of mine, if you disagree with any of mine, let me know. I think this is a fun trend because the tried and true really are the best. So I'll try and leave a little comment box on the like underneath the links and all of that so that you can send in your own, and I'll probably post a few throughout the next week. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you got a lot and are going to possibly have more sort of tools in your toolbox to enhance your own wellness routine from these unsexy wellness product recommendations. Thank you guys for listening. If you liked this podcast, please share it. If you have not subscribed yet, it would really help. We also have these videos on YouTube if you're more of a visual person when you're listening to podcasts. But thank you guys so much for following along. I cannot tell you enough what it means. Like each new follower, I get a little bit giddier and I'm like, oh my gosh, I tell my family, I'm like, oh my gosh. So it just means the world to me. And I know I can't thank each of you individually, but I really, really, really appreciate it. I hope you can tell that from how I approach these episodes and just how grateful I am, because words, I always say it, but words can't convey it. And just your support means a lot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you want, leave a review, share these episodes. That would really help me out as well too. So thank you so much for tuning into the Wellness Big Sister podcast. And I'll see you guys again for the next episode.